Freedom 35, 5.
Dude, start the podcast.
Wow.
Welcome, everybody. Oh, that's funny. Welcome, everybody. Freedom 35ers, Cardano NFT podcast. My name is Tommy. I go by TLDR.
My name is CJ. I go by Lazy T.
And I am the other Tom. I go by Lavish Bear.
And tonight, coming live from the hotel room,
Tampa,
Somewhere.
Florida. Yeah. Well, not
There we
hotel, but sure. We'll say that.
It could
We'll
be.
say
Tom's on an important business trip this week.
I like the fan.
That's why the hair's down. Doesn't mean big. It's all business.
That's why I have the glasses on, because I'm on a different, not on my normal PC. I wouldn't be able to see you guys like at all without them.
We're over here.
Yeah.
Well, more so too when we share a screen. I mean, it's already bad enough on my normal PC, not wearing them, but it's usually for the reflection. But I had to wear them today.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. And dude, I mean, I feel like I like switching between like the backgrounds right now. Like some days I'll rock the green screen, the other days like I get the little. It's nice little like contrast. So I feel like it's good to switch it up every now and then, you know, or just go to a different town. I'll be honest with you, I'd be fucked up, Tom, if I was in another spot outside of where I'm at recording. I'd be all
That's
6
weird.
and 7s.
It's weird. It's also the angle. Like I'm not at a desk, so it's like, do I stand?
Oh yeah,
That feels way too weird. Now it feels like I'm talking down to you. This is more normal, but it's still not right.
we're in a business meeting right now. That's what it feels like. This strange
Zoom
Zoom
call.
call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Zoom interview.
Dude, speaking of work though, man, it's just been like I've been crazy busy, and I know Tom, you said you're working away right now at the moment, and TJ, you've been same thing. Everybody's just been
Busy.
grinding. Yeah,
That time of
dude.
year for me anyway.
I've been
All the
tired. I've
snowbirds
been
are
like,
home.
it's messing me up, dude. It also keeping me a little more disconnected than I normally am.
100%.
Absolutely, because I'm just like tired in the afternoons, and then the weekends kind of like catching up on catching up. So then
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's just like, damn, I haven't. I keep thinking like, hey, we haven't talked that long. And I'm like, damn, that was 2 months ago or something. Like I thought it was like
Yep.
2 days ago.
Dude,
There's a
stuff-
lot more
And also
mindless.
January
scrolling.
seemed really long, but then February was like the blink of an eye.
Okay, next
Yeah.
week it's the end of it.
yeah, dude. We were talking about it. We are game
January
night
was like
already.
5 months.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's crazy to think about that. But yeah, it's moving fast, and I mean, we've had a few guests on this month already. A couple DJ nights, and speaking of DJ nights, another Monday over here. A little live stream recap for you guys if you missed us over here. We talked to big projects inside of space. Shout out to Omen, Cornucopias. I don't even know. We really touched Ape Society until the end of it. It just kind of flew by so fast that we were just like, holy shit, we knocked out 2 hours like it was nothing. We actually went a little after into Freedom After Dark territory towards the end there on that rockin'. And you couldn't get me off the mic at that thing at the end.
It was funny.
Well,
We
even
decided-
that, we had to ask a couple things, didn't we?
Yeah, we pretty much just shut down the Ape Society's whole thing other than like this couple thing on a tailor shop, although it kind of worked out in our favor for tonight's main topic. So yeah, we finally got some good breaks our way. But yeah, dude, we talked Omen, Cornucopias, Dirt Birds, Mallet Order, and Goofy Gophers. Talked to surprise little fuzzy fellas thing over there with the snowballs. Shout out to Telfire for stepping in and doing a little impromptu giveaway. It was fun, man. I had a good little night. And all shout out to the Cornucopias team, man. I don't even respond. I get bad about doing this sometimes, but we got right stuff from Rob, the founder over there, and as well as Seven. So we shouted him out as well.
That's cool.
So shout out to you guys. And Rob was giving us a little alpha because we were talking about like Eddie and them had started a new podcast and like gameplay being laggy. And he said the best way to play and stream is to play on one PC and link it and stream from another PC or laptop. Doing both for the save is difficult. So he's basically saying get two computers, you brokies, so you can play our game.
Play and stream. Not to play.
Yeah, to play and stream. Yeah, you want to be a real content creator? Get two PCs, guys. Max graphics cards, full settings, the whole nine. No, it was fun. It was a fun little stream, too, right? It was. I mean, I feel like we were talking about it in like another stream about like, man, we missed the window. I think we were talking about it even on the Cornucopias like section. I'm like, damn, man, like we're like 10 years too late on this shit. I don't have that kind of time these days to like dedicate. Well, you could though, like really, like those we were talking about it in that Cornucopias segment of how we were talking about like Seven, like where this guy was literally just a community member who made music for, that's what he likes to do, and they integrated him into the game. there's other people and other content creators that stream exclusively that I can imagine they're going to continue to build and even pick up and put them on the team. There's a lot of it's really cool to be like in and from the inception of a game and kind of grow with them.
So much opportunity. Going from being someone that you support to now you're actually part of the game, like that could happen to anybody really, because they're so early still. A lot of these projects.
As they continue to grow and find more like spaces where it's like, hey, well, now that we're doing this, we need someone to do this. Oh shit! Well, that person that's always hanging out, they mentioned they do that for other projects or something. Easy.
Right.
That is what's kind of special about being in a smaller space, I think, where we have so much access to creators and founders. It's kind of cool, like when everyone can kind of come together. Because you've seen, they're not the only project. We've heard stories like that, but it's always awesome to see.
And then you see things too, like where, Cornucopias, they're not just in our bubble anymore. They're like no pun intended for them. But they're on ETH. They're on the BSC chain. They're on obviously Cardano, and they're imagining that they're going to continue to be chain agnostic. They said that, so there's going to be more exposure to them. And I think they were even just recently on another podcast. They're on that thing with Alex Becker or whatever it is. I forget the name of it. Like their NFT group, they have like a ridiculously high citizens or something like that. I forget what it's called. But it's like a big network of NFT gaming, and they're part of that now too. So they've got bigger eyes outside of just the Cardano community on them. So I think that's cool that they, like you said, if you're in early with these guys, you've seen it from the inception. I mean, who knows where this thing goes, but they definitely feel like one of those ones to watch. Absolutely. And pay attention to. I know it's tough to keep up with it, but this is a cool things being built over here. And shout out to the other projects over on the space. But to get into the main topic of this, because we kind of left them on like red a little bit at the end of that show there where we're talking about Ape Society. Okay, they got a new trade shop. It's cool. Like, you upgrade your art. You can spend your society token on tickets to go ahead and upgrade the art of that ape. It looks pretty dope. What else we got? Oh, we were going to talk Levvy finance, and then we were like, you know what? It's getting a little late, guys. Let's go ahead and we'll chat with you guys later about that, right? Well, dude, I mean, luckily for us in this time frame, a lot's happened with Levvy over the last 48 hours here on Cardano. Yeah. And I can imagine there's even going to be more of it by the time the podcast releases this Friday. We're recording on Wednesday the 21st. So take this. This is what the info that we got now, but we're kind of seeing this play out in real time. And I know you were mentioning it before we even got recording right now, was the fact that you guys were like, we're kind of disconnected. We're all been working. What's really going on right now? Well, a lot has gone on, and we're here to catch you up, guys, tonight, especially if you guys haven't really been paying attention. I'm going to go ahead. Let's talk about a little story, about a little protocol.
Let's talk about it.
Named Levvy, who is now upgraded from a sloth to the claw. More on that here in a soon. The claw. Oh, is that from Liar Liar?
Liar Liar or Toy Story, either or.
Yeah. Okay.
I go Toy Story, yeah. Or
that
new Zac Efron movie, The Iron Claw.
I haven't seen that one.
Terrible.
I
like it.
Is it out?
I no idea. Like a movie about 1980 wrestling or something.
Stumped him.
Yeah. Hey, it's something. But over here, so this was the stat and the topic we were going to talk about on Monday that we didn't get to talk about, which was Levvy Finance. We talked about it, I think, maybe a couple podcasts ago, as in regard to like their lending, the volume. We talked about the chart, kind of like what they had done for their numbers in January. Well, they posted their lending market data over here, and this is on February 17th, so a few days ago, 4 days ago, talking about total volume and interest paid in dollars. And it said, grateful to be leading the market with almost 23 million volume and over $700,000 in interest paid out during this time period, which was July of 23 to January of 24. So this chart over here clearly depicts Levvy at the top with liquid behind it, LendFi, and then Fluid token. And they posted this a few different times, like in regard to like, hey, the narrative is that, Levvy, we're the little guy. We just started out, but we are getting the most volume. Like, we're getting the most traction ahead of some of these big guys and maybe people who maybe appear to be more serious, more OG inside the space when it comes to liquid, and then LendFi, which was ADA before all this, and then newcomer Fluid token. So they of course they're like, hey, look, we got the stats over here. We're just trying to throw them in your face and be like, look, like the stats don't lie. And it got enough attention that LenFi themselves responded to it and said, since July 2023 on LenFi, the volume of accepted loans was 30 million ADA, and interest paid was 838,420 ADA. Now, interestingly enough, with their chart was in USD, they responded back in ADA, but you can do the conversion on that. And they said that the volume seems to match your numbers regarding how much volume they've all done, meaning that LenFi is, roughly half of what Levvy has done.
Mm-hmm.
But the interest paid doesn't. Repaid loans and collected interest actions seem to be duplicating the interest paid. Converting USD to ADA, it seems that we have half of what you're saying. Is that wrong? Later to come out and find out that they weren't duplicating it, but from what I understand is that their interest, once a loan had been accepted on their platform, they were counting the interest that was going to be paid on that loan as the volume metrics, as paid at interest.
Yeah.
But I guess that could be, and I'm not a big, where I'm not big into the lending protocols on the DeFi side of things. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it sometimes. Levvy seems to make that easier for me. But in this instance, I think what's happening, and at least from my interpretation of that, is that when they share that stat of like, okay, obviously there's a stat of interest paid. That's a tangible number. You can get that. Okay, well, a loan was, followed through. They paid the interest. But after that, there's this interest that is like kind of like in limbo, because a lot of these loans, some of these loans can extend up to a year, right? So you got a loan that's just sitting in limbo land for a year that they're saying that is the volume metrics of theirs. Yet it has not been paid yet, because it's a year from now. It will need to be paid, but there's a potential that person could default.
Yeah.
So in reality, it's not really paid interest. It's
they're
pending.
It's pending. Count. What is it? Count your chickens before they hatch.
Yeah, they're padding stats.
Yeah, they're absolutely like, hey, look, we've made all this money, and then next month they could be like, oh shit, we're out of business. Well, how are you out of business? Look at all this interest you guys get paid. Well, actually, no one paid their loans. We were just counting them already. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's the kind of trouble you run into. The people that are kind of involved you want to see transparency. You want to see accurate numbers. You want to be like, they're just saying
250,000
would be if everyone paid it off.
250,000. You might want to hold on to that one.
Yeah. Dude.
Here you go.
It was kind of wild, and again, I maybe need to follow up more on that, but that was from the gist of what I was getting out of this. So okay, right, a little beef on the timeline. It was pitting people against LenFi versus Levvy. People were arguing, it's drama. We don't need to be fighting with each other. We're in such a small little bubble.
Cardano?
Yeah, right. We don't got anything else to talk about. We're going to talk about this. Afterwards, it started to get people to kind of think about Levvy in general. I saw a lot of different threads go out about how Levvy is an options protocol, essentially like a hidden options protocol, in the sense that basically you can gamble for roughly 7 to 14 days, depending on the asset. And I think there's a max of like 28
Absolutely.
days, where you're like, especially on the token department, in the sense that, hey, the token is X price today. I'm going to get a loan on these and most of the loan to value ratios on there, meaning basically like, okay, how close is percentage is that to the actual token price? So if it's $100 and we have an 80% LTV, the token's 80 cents. And that's what you can borrow at. And they're like, all right, well, I think in 2 weeks now, I'm gonna go and take that 80% loan. And if the token goes down and actually goes past, like, say it goes down to 70 cents, I'm just going to default on the loan because I sold it. There's no reason for me to repay it, because I would just be losing money. And if the token goes up, then I repay the loan. As long as the interest isn't more than what I can sell for, then I can gamble with that money, right? You can, it's an options. People think about it that way. Well, they talked about it in a way because Levvy, if you guys have never used it before, it's very competitive in the sense for the lenders, because it forces the lenders to go ahead and give the best possible loan to value ratio to get
each other, to get people to go with them.
Yeah, it's player to player, peer to peer, whatever you want to call it. So if you guys have never looked at Levvy before and you guys wanted to go over to their site and you wanted to lend, right now it tells you the loan to value ratio. Like if you were to go loan out of Clay Nation right now, well, the loan to value ratio, right now, I could loan one off and get an offer price of 740 ADA on this. If I wanted to borrow this, sorry, I did that backwards over there. If I wanted to borrow this, I would get 730 ADA for my clay right now. And I would repay the interest in 14 days. If I wanted to lend it, I have to set my lend price. So I could go ahead and put this. I don't know what the floor clays are right now. It looks like the floor price is 840 ADA as of the price of this. If I got up to like really close to it, somebody's probably going to take, that offer, because we're not far off from the floor price. And think about JPEG trading fees. That makes way more sense. So they don't really tell you like, hey, if you take a loan that's really high, close to what the floor price is or the price of the main token, you're gambling really hard right now, because if that thing goes down at all, the people who borrowed that money are automatically going to default on you, because there's no reason for them to repay you back, because they're going to be losing money if they do. So that sparked like a bigger conversation, mainly on the token side of things here, because it shows like the highest loan to value ratios. A lot of these, if you guys aren't familiar, before all this shit just went down, most of these were in like the high, like 70 to up to at some point like close to 90% range on loan to value ratios.
That's how competitive they were.
That's how competitive it was. But I don't think, because they
we were getting blasted on some.
Oh, well, if you look, dude, it was just default. If you looked at tap tools recently, everything was in the red, especially as ADA's price went up. A lot of the Cardano native tokens took a dip. So a lot of things that were happening where these people were just defaulting on the loan because the ADA was worth more than the token itself that they borrowed. Yeah. So why the fuck would they pay it back? So that's what it was.
It doesn't affect their credit scores. This isn't like a real loan.
Right. Yeah, and then and consequently, of course, the people who loaned out the ADA to get those now are ended up with a big pile of tokens that are worth less. They're like, I don't want to lose any more because this could potentially go down. So they sell off those tokens they just got defaulted to them, and in turn, that brings the price of that token down even more. So it's just like a cascading like fall of everything. Yeah, and everything was just getting fucked on. Though. So yeah, if you looked at some of these tokens, I forget which one it was that was very high, close to like 90%. Now Hunt, which was one of the top ones out there, they were like an 80-something%. Are now, and the price of Hunt too, by the way, they went down to 0.39. They were sitting like close to 60 cents. So now the highest one over here is a 70% factor, loan to value factor. And if you go on like Lendfi or one of those, they do have that over there. They have like health factor percentage, like saying is this a healthy loan or is this a high risk loan on those other lending protocols. And here, just the degen mindset, right? Like, hey, it's cool. I'll just borrow the tokens. I'll get my money. It works. No problem. Well, a lot of people are learning an expensive lesson when they're risking that high of a thing. Now, the other alternative to that was that this guy was arguing that the lenders are going to get screwed over because they offered an 88% loan to value at that time. And the problem is like, say I wanted to go ahead and go lend out money for a token right now. I'm like, you know what? I want to just lend. I got a lot of spare ADA right now. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna loan out. I don't know, 100 ADA. I'm being a cheap ass, but right. I whatever. I need to set my loan to value offer respectively. So if I see the base one right now was like 85%. I probably need to be close to that in order for my ADA to be able to be lent. Otherwise, it's just going to sit in limbo. Nobody's ever going to take it.
Like no one's going to choose your offer.
Right. So they had to be competitive, right? Well, the issue with that is when you get competitive and you have to do that, it's a risk you're taking on the lender side by doing that. Because if something goes sideways, you need to understand that you can actually get wrecked, which a lot of people are doing. The flip side to that is that there's people who want to take healthier loans. They can't really, you're like, all right, you know what? The guy is like 80 to 90%. I'm not going to do that with them. I'm just going to go take one of the healthier loans at like 70%. People can't do that at the moment on them, but I know they're working towards that. So they've added this new order book feature, which is more of a recent thing, but you can kind of see the paywalls of like 70% loans. There's 8,008 out there, 68%, there's 7,500. So you can do the math to see where the paywalls are for ADA being loaned out. So that's nice. And then I guess in the future, what they were asking is like, right now, if you're a lender, you have no control over this to liquidate. Like if you bought in at a 70% loan and the token goes fucking tanks, you can't get out of it. You're in it. And there's no way to liquidate the loss because it went under a certain health factor. It's just the most likely you're going to get defaulted on, and whatever happens in that 2 weeks, you're just going to have to live with. So a lot of people right now that have these loans out, you're going to see here in 2 weeks, maybe depending on what happens with all these prices of these tokens, you're going to see another bloodbath for people that have outstanding loans at the moment.
Well, I was even thinking, just now going through this, like as a lender, not the one getting the ADA, but the one that's holding, you know, the pawn shop, the one that's taking the item to hold it and lending out actual cash money or ADA. It's hard to find where they kind of can come out on top, where they win. Really, it seems like most of it is around either the person that took the money out goes and uses that money and doesn't win with it. They end up at a loss or something, and they just can't purchase it, or they forget about it. But otherwise, in this case, like you said, how you framed it, especially if you know something's kind of risky, to do this is almost kind of like hedging your NFT. It's like, all right, cool. I don't know what's going to happen. There's crazy shit going on. So for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to do this. If the price of it goes up, I'll pay the loan off and I'll get it back. If it goes down, then hey, I made money on it. You know what I mean? It just seems like it's really heavily weighed against, you know, that's why in real life, you know, there's like either loan sharks or it's like banking institutions if you want to get a loan, because there's a lot of risk involved, and there's actual either legal recourse in the case of like collections and you know, debt and actually hitting your credit, or, you know, I guess if it's a loan shark, they're going to come break your kneecaps. But I don't think that's happening on Cardano. So like, you know, as a lender, it's kind of like, oh, this is so cool. I get a little interest, or, you know, this guy defaulted and then it went up in a week. So I'm sure there's people that have stories like, I love it. Someone defaulted. I got the asset. I sold it for 200 ADA more because of that, because of the rate. But that's probably more of like the not as, that's probably not very common. I would think that more people are sitting here. They're like, wait, damn, I did like 5 of these and all 5 defaulted and now it's worth less than I gave them. I just got fucked.
Yeah. Well, you just made me think about why people are getting a real life lesson of like banks and why banks, like if you're the bank, you're the lender, why they don't give you ridiculous loans. Because of things you're learning about the bank. Yeah, you're learning about banking right now by doing this. You're experimenting with it, at least on the DeFi side of things, where it's like that little balance, right? Of like why the SEC's a thing over here. Like, we want to protect you, and it's like, fuck you, I want my own money. And then you go out and do shit like this, and it's like, fuck, I wish you would have let me know. Like, fuck, I fucked up, guys.
Like, can we try that again?
Hold on, did I get a redo? Yeah. I need to hold on. Let me hold on. I don't want this.
Even you know, even credit scores, I know those are, I think from the, like, they're not that old, they came out in like the 70s or something, and there's plenty of problems that are associated with credit scores, but just in general though, they're kind of neat. Sometimes it's good to have a standard to where you can measure some things. Of course, the issue, that's where the centralization comes in, is who is making that standard, who's in control of it, and then how are they manipulating it to be in their favor somehow or be unfair. But just overall, having some kind of like help lets people know, like, all right, in this case, you don't know who you're lending to. You know what I mean? This person could have defaulted on 15 loans already, and you're like, hey man, here's my money. Now, this guy's you're gonna pay me back in 2 weeks, right? All right, cool, thumbs up, awesome. And then you know, again, just it takes off your money, and you're like, and it sounds like there's not, most cases, not a huge loss. It's like, you know, damn, I ended up with the asset. It's worth 58 or less or whatever than I lent, or something along those lines. At least that's my presumption here based on this. I'm hoping people aren't getting like hit for 500, 200 ADA differences when it comes to the pricing. But also with how volatile that is, I could see that happening with some projects where it's just like, oh shit, this thing dropped 30% in a day. I'm defaulting, I'm keeping the ADA, and have fun with that.
They also mentioned too, like, lending makes sense when the market is good and healthy. When the market is going down, it makes no sense to lend at all. So it's like lending protocols do really well when everything's going like great. Like, that's the time to start lending as a lender. You know, that's the time to do it because everything's going great. The sentiment's up. You know, most people are projecting it to go up. So in turn, that's how people make their money. At least they get their interest paid out. Worst case scenario, they get defaulted, but the token's worth up, you know, a little more, so they can sell it. Here, that's not the case, so people are getting absolutely wrecked. Although I want to say, and I have to find the metric on it, they responded saying that, hey, because somebody was asking, like, hey, show me the percentage of defaults on your platform. Is everybody just defaulting? It's great that everybody's borrowing, but if everybody's just using your platform to dump their stuff, that's not really an effective thing for lenders, like you were talking about, to really want to incentivize them. And they said that, I'm going off rough numbers on my head, I don't know that, I got to confirm this. They said there's only like roughly like a 9 to 10% like default rate on the platform itself. Which, so that's not anything crazy. And you know, like I said, the narrative on Twitter likes to go crazy with it, but I just thought that was interesting enough because it's a great protocol. Like when I talk about wanting to go on Lenfi or Liquid or one of these, to, you know, interface wise, they nail the simplicity compared to the others. The other ones are just a little above my brain, in a sense of like, I can understand it. Here it's nice and easy, it's pretty, I press the button, it tells me what it is, I hit go. And I think a lot of people have done that without really realizing and doing a lot of research into these scenarios that we're talking about right now.
Where can I get fucked?
Yeah, how can I get fucked, or how did I just fuck myself? There is no health factor on this loan. That doesn't mean anything. I don't even know what that means. It tells me I'm gonna get APY. I'm gonna get an APY. Oh wait, they didn't pay me back. Ah, fuck. Now I got
like 100% APY. Let's do it. All right.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Easy peasy. And then, NFT price just went in half. Oh, they rug pulled. That thing's worth nothing now. Oh, cool. All right. Well, guess that's gone.
Well, what about the guy who gave all my ADA to?
Yeah. Oh, he's good, man. He did. He fucked you. He won.
He didn't buy you dinner first.
Yeah. At least put some lipstick on. Like to get good and kissed.
You want it done a little bit first.
You see that? It's like an old South Park episode.
No, it's funny. That's funny.
The iPad one?
Yeah, the iPad. Mom, I want to get an iPad. She's like, no, you get the Surface Pro or whatever the fuck it is. And he's like, Mom, you're gonna fuck me right here in the Best Buy. He's like, bend me over. Oh man. Anyway, so the story evolves from here. So it started off with that. Then yesterday on February 20th, we get hit, and I think this surprised a lot of people. They dropped a Medium. They did a Twitter space, not a long one, recorded, and they dropped a Medium article right after the Ape Society saying, Levvy, it's happening. We have a new token coming out over here. We're over 80% of NFT loans and around 50% of token loans are done through Levvy. Levvy. What did I say? Levvy. Oh man, I'm just picturing that adventure. But so they go, okay, next step, Levvy. To continue and grow the platform, give the attention it needs, Levvy needs its own token. This token will further expand our user base, provide incentives where needed on new features, and enable future elements of our roadmap. And then they're basically like, all right, we're going to give you some tokenomics. Why we're redoing this? And that's why I was mentioning the claw over here. They've rebranded. They're modernizing the brand of Levvy. Your favorite slots will still be around, but we're debuting a new logo and token mark to give justice to our sophistication as a platform. So there you go. So that's where the claw comes from over here.
Okay.
Yeah, and I agree. The sock is just basically a meme at this point. I don't know. I hate the sock from Society. I'm not a fan of that at all. So this looks better. The new logo looks better, more professional. Yeah, great,
financial,
cool.
And you give money to. Yeah.
But what happened with Society?
So hold on, TJ. We're getting to that part of the story over here.
Buy upgrades with it. We went over this on Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
Stash for your ape.
So they talk about tokenomics. Said more info is going to be coming in a few days here. They're going to share an overview of the plan. So there's going to be a public sale for a percentage of the initial supply of Levvy. It's going to be done using the pro rata method, which we learned about during the summertime last year when MuesliSwap dropped all those tokens from different platforms coming out. Basically, pro rata means that they have a goal to raise, say they want to raise 5 million ADA. If people send in 10 million ADA, they have a set time period to send in your ADA. If they sell 10 million ADA and they were only meant to raise 5, you're going to get half of the tokens that you were initially would have got that just sold out at 100%. It's just basically anything that goes past that, you'll get a reduced rate and then refunded the difference. That's all that means. Okay, cool. No problem. Token sale, interesting though, that they're doing a token sale and not an airdrop over here, from switching between the two. And then, but they do say in the addition to the public sale, we are having an airdrop. The airdrop will be given primarily to those who have used Levvy in any capacity. Soon enough, we'll be introducing an airdrop site. You'll be able to check your allocation and get a breakdown of the different quantities and tiers you're eligible for. Given the amount of users using the platform, we're excited to do one of the most widespread single airdrops on the chain. So cutoff is coming here in a few days. So you have a little bit more time to do some volume on their platform. Then, and this is where we get almost to the society part, once the token is released, there will be a staking interface on the site where you're going to be able to stake your Levvy to earn more of the token that supports the network. Basically saying this is going to give us more voting power, improve our user experience, all this great stuff. And on top of that, their new Regal stake pool that they swapped over for real, you can get rewards via drip drops over the next couple of years. That's Levvy. And then TJ, what happens to society? Well, what happens to it is that society, if you're a staking society right now over on Levvy, you're going to continue to receive revenue share from the program for the next 6 months in that transition period. It says, in addition, you'll receive airdrops of Levvy on a monthly basis if you're staking to the platform with society. And then in their tokenomics release, they'll go into more detail. To start, please join us tomorrow in our spaces with Charles Hoskinson. We're releasing much information on each of the topics covered and tweets, articles, and a light paper. We got huge additional features coming up that will redefine what instant liquidity can mean on Cardano. This includes one major feature that would be our biggest addition since tokens that will shake up the NFT space. In addition, we'll share our roadmap, encourage healthy activity on there, blah, blah, blah. Welcome to the new era.
So they're really treating the Levvy and Ape Society as almost two different,
two completely different things. Yeah, two separate things.
But it's the same team essentially, same team, same but different.
Same but different. The umbrella grows.
Well, I feel like they kind of, in a way, are screwing over Ape Society holders a little bit, honestly. Like as far as society goes, like having another token in addition to society. Why not just rebrand society to Levvy?
Well, because society is used in the Ape Society project. They're just
really just keeping that token within that ecosystem and not for anything else at all.
Well, they did it. So just context to this, they did do after that Twitter space. They went into their Discord. And I was in there for an hour and a half listening. They went and did a town hall in their Discord on a Discord stage, and they brought up anybody who had raised their hand and asked the question, and they one by one, you got a question for us, ask it, we'll answer it with the main core team. To address people's concerns, pretty much, because the big problem with all this, obviously announcing something like this is just causes all fuck. Sure. What do you mean? Since my society is worth nothing. Oh shit, what's gonna happen to my society? Oh fuck me. Well, that's what happened. Stop.
Going down.
That went, and this is in context if you're looking at it. I got it in USD, not ADA right now. So it was roughly 5 cents at the time of that announcement, dropped all the way down to 3 cents. Which in context, it's still a big percentage.
Yeah, it's almost 50%. Yeah.
And
absolutely
freaked fucking people out is what it did. And if you're an ape holder, you're probably like, what the fuck, man? Like, society was the token. It was the token for Levvy. They were like, look, Levvy has gotten way bigger than we ever thought it would be. We want to cater to this platform, but in order to do both, they need to be separated.
So they can still buy their pool tables, pool sticks, and chairs and whatnot for their rooms. Society?
You can do that with society still, yes. You can upgrade your art with society with their tickets functions. You can stake your cabin still and earn society. I'm sure there's other stuff that I don't know about with society, but to add context to this, right? Obviously everybody's freaking out. So this is what really got people more so talking, was that you guys said this was the only ecosystem token for us months ago. 4 months ago, Congo said Derp society is the only token for the ecosystem. Talking about that. So you can imagine as certain holders take that to heart of, okay, this is the two Levvy's doing great. Society, I'm staking it. I'm earning stuff right now. This is the only token I need. I'm going to keep going heavy in this because I'm going heavy for Levvy, whatever you want to call. He gives a little stat upgrade, and then he goes into a whole to why they're doing what they're doing. Here is the interesting part. So people were asking, did Congo break his word? I'll let you guys.
I don't think so, because especially how he worded that in the beginning, where he says, the ecosystem. I mean, that I guess that can be depending on, you could argue it both ways. Like, I would say that you're right. Like, Levvy definitely started as part of the Ape Society. It was kind of just a idea of like, hey, this is just another feature we know we can accomplish, and we want to offer that to our community and allow you guys to make money with it and be successful, and we'll also get our part of it. It benefits everyone. But like you said, Tommy, I just think it's become a beast that they never understood, didn't foresee as actually being a potential. Like, they thought maybe, hey, we get some users a little bit extra, but now that it's become so popular, they're just like, these need to be two distinct things. We can't have pool table and record player purchases affecting the coin price or hype of something that's also used for lending. You can't really, that's very difficult to make those work together. So we're going to separate them. So Society is still the only token for their Ape Society ecosystem. I would say it kind of seems like this is a now totally separate entity in Levvy.
Agreed.
So I definitely understand the frustration. It seems like more of the frustration is like, oh shit, you're telling me that Ape's token isn't going to make me be able to retire because of how popular and expensive everything is on it, and instead I just have to use it for what it was exactly designed for, which was using within the Ape Society ecosystem. Because I mean, even from the beginning, you say, oh, did they rug pull? And I'm not saying that he was clearly asking in a poll, but in my opinion, like, the Levvy was always a bonus. The original idea was always going to be society within the Ape Society ecosystem. They added on Levvy, that was a bonus. So really at this point, they're not any different position than they were when they first started getting into society and Ape Society and the Society token. They're going to be able to use their Society token in Ape Society like the original plan always was.
You put it in good context.
I know, well said. I can't even.
If you wait, I just want to be a part of your ecosystem. I love your token right now because it allows me to customize and do so many things in there. But wait, it's not worth money anymore. Hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck up.
Like,
I put way too much
money.
I bought, and that's the problem with fungible tokens is that, people got in because there was speculation. So they paid a premium for it. Because a lot of people who got Society were either staking, they were earning it from staking. They didn't pay anything. This is fucking the Wild West, baby. Learn DeFi. Welcome. Welcome to decentralized finance, guys. People are gonna win. People are gonna lose. Somebody's got to lose.
And they are
right?
getting. They did say they're gonna get an airdrop. They'll get their allocation. Like, I'm sure it's gonna be within reason. They're not gonna be like, hey, sorry, you're all upset with us, so here's a free $5,000 or something. They'll get an airdrop. They'll get some money, and they can hold on to that. And if it still continues to take off, or they continue to take advantage of those periods, because it'll be regular airdrops. It said monthly. I think it said.
The full tokenomics haven't come out yet, which they're coming out very soon. So there could be a huge thing for Society holders where they get a massive thing for being a part of that. So basically, apes get airdrops. If you hold an ape, you get an airdrop of this Levvy token. If you hold a CODIS, you also get airdrop of this. And if you've used their Levvy platform in any capacity and don't even own an ape, you get a portion of this. So there are still giving back in that sense. I think one thing that people are kind of on the fence about is why are you doing a token sale? Why not airdrop an equivalent and just put up a base amount of money? I've seen that argument because there's another token over on ETH, Pork or something like that by a guy named Paulie, where they were like, look, just put a minor little liquidity pool and let drop it out to the people and let them price discover it and figure it out and give it to your holders back without making new people pay for it. And I think they obviously have some sort of fundraising goals they need to hit for this. If they're doing a token sale, it makes, hey, a lot. And then the other flip side of that, of course, is everybody arguing oh, you're just milking us for more money. You're never going to win in either capacity. I just think if you're detailed, people are going to be degens and be like, hey, I don't agree with this. Oh, pro rata, how much? Yo, send my 8 in, bro.
That's what I was going to say. I signed the contract. I didn't agree with this.
Fuck you guys. I make me money. New money.
So are we buying? I'm going for this.
I'm going for this.
I'll probably throw the money in. Yeah, I mean, it'd be stupid not to. They're the biggest NFT project over here. And what do you love them or hate them? they've changed the ecosystem in NFTs and now DeFi over here on Cardano. Those metrics, like, there's a reason there's still those kind of numbers over here going on. But now
I would say,
good.
Well, I just wanted to add on was just the, as far as like that question, did they rug pull? I mean, at first when we started, when we started looking at this, I was like, damn, they're really fucking the people that have society token. But now kind of listening through it and reading through that, I think that it's pretty reasonable what they're doing, and there's a reason why, and it makes sense why those two ecosystems can't really interact well when they're so separate and different. But at the same time, what we're gonna have to see is like the question on when they rug pulled will be, do they continue to add value to the ape society? You know what I mean? If they just go to Levvy totally and they're just like, oh well, we never did anything again, and ape society token was never used for anything further beyond those couple of upgrades. As long as they continue to develop that side too, and hopefully whether it's bringing value back in return of actual profits or just bringing value to the project in general, they never promise profits. It's more promising the project to develop further along and become bigger. So if they keep doing that, then I think they've stood by their side. If they kind of neglect it and just go all Levvy because that's what's making the most money, then I think we can make that claim a little more, but not at this time.
No, I think too, if you're an initial supporter of them, right? Like you minted them and you stayed with them throughout the entire journey, like, you're up, dude. You're very up. You didn't, even if you spent the 8 to mint whatever the next assets were, you're up. And that's providing value to your shareholders in real. And isn't that what every business and what you want out of a business is to provide value to your shareholders? You can't help where your shareholders bought in. Some people buy in at the wrong time and they get absolutely wrecked, hoping that it's always going to go up, and that's not the case. So, right, there's always going to be winners and losers. But if you've been with them since the start, obviously they've been up. To continue on to this story and do a follow-up, because this happened over here on this Wednesday night, popping up with in regard to Charles, right? They mentioned, hey, we got a thing with Charles. A lot of people were looking forward to that. And me included, I was like, oh, it'd be really cool to actually kind of hear the two of them go at it. I know they've had their differences in the past, but Charles has got the ape frame held up even on his wall right now near the whiteboard. So post goes up tonight, says Space with Charles has been canceled. Apologies to anyone who was looking forward to it. And to add context to it, Charles Hoskinson himself was speaking, and I'll go ahead and play a little clip just to kind of hear his response and his quick take on this. Let me know if you guys can hear this.
So today I was scheduled for a Twitter space with one of those projects that's on Cardano. And there's been a bit of confusion lately about some of the things that have been happening there in that particular project. So several people messaged me and said, hey, what are you doing? Why are you hanging out with these people? Or we feel that there's an issue. I said, well, that's a good point. I don't know a lot about it. I'm somewhat detached from the day-to-day on these. I just look at on-chain activity. I look at TVL. I look at how blocks are being utilized. I look at protocol design. I look at capital flows in and out, transaction volume, all kinds of statistics and metrics there. I don't look at the individual projects from a perspective of funding, governance, or commitments and promises that they make with their communities. It's simply impossible because there's just too many of them. And part of the immune system is the community usually comes to me and lets me know when they have legitimate concerns. So it's become clear to me that I need to put more processes in place and actually start looking into some of these factors to at least create a baseline, an open, objective baseline. And it would be nice to actually pull it into some formats that are a little bit higher production quality and also allow people to have a fair representation of things. So what I'm going to do is dial back a little bit my showcasing and cancel some of the X spaces that are upcoming. And we're going to reset and reformat things. And so I have a better way of engaging. Probably what will end up happening is we'll announce that we think it's going to be fun to showcase a project, have an open process to solicit questions about that particular project, and maybe have it as an interview or something along those lines. In this way, I can make it absolutely clear that it's not my intent to endorse. It's not my intent to say this particular project is awesome or not awesome. but rather just give a platform for that project to, through my platform, broadcast its existence and showcase that Cardano has a lot of really cool and interesting things going on. And hopefully that will allow people to connect, discover new things, and then ultimately showcase that Cardano as a whole is a great ecosystem. That has always been my intent. So
there you go.
All right. Can you real fast pull up his Twitter, send him a DM? He can make us an offer. He wants to buy Freedom 35.
There you go.
Or just send him our link.
Get...
Just, hey, man, you're looking for some more information every Monday, live. Come on, check it out, 9 o'clock Eastern.
That's it.
When I talk to him,
information on some of these projects. Come on, not that we have the info. You can learn from our chat, though. Come hang out with us.
Dude, I talked to him at NFT or CNFT Con the first year. I said, hey, we got a project. He goes, oh, yeah, what is that? He goes, hey, I'll have to go look that up. And I'm like, he'll never look this up. Here's that offer, Charles. Get you on over there.
I'll never look that up.
He's done. We're not kind of on that level yet of Dan, Crypto Capital or Recruiter. Or Cardano Paul. Shout out to Cardano Paul. He just got him on, actually. But yeah, maybe one day. But yeah, what do you guys think about that? I mean, it's disappointing maybe not to hear that they're doing it, but it's also good probably from a standpoint of being the founder of a blockchain to probably be like, shit, I don't want to get caught saying like, hey, I had a project on and all of a sudden the project just went totally off the rails, had all kinds of horrible things, and then I'm associated with it because I hosted them for something. You don't want to get caught in that.
People will buy because of that. I mean, that's enough to make people excited enough to just go, hey, they were on with Charles. I didn't really look at what they're doing, but they were on like a 2-hour.
Gotta be good. I trust Charles. Yeah.
Thousands of people watching, X number of people watching. Absolutely. Yeah. It's not even like a trust. It's just the fact that the hype is there. Sometimes people buy it, and you just would hate to see a project rise to the top that doesn't have any substance, just because it had that hype. And then you find out like, oh shit, they're not actually doing anything for real. They were just really good at the marketing, connection side in the background, and ended up getting lucky enough, or seizing the opportunity to go on with Charles. Not that is what Levvy's doing, but just in general in our space, you want, quality projects brought up, and also an open platform for hopefully healthy conversations and discussions, not people coming up and be like, you guys are a bunch of idiots. What are you doing?
Yeah, get in that Twitter space fear, dude. Because if you get caught up into that,
I think he's the first person I've heard say X space.
Yeah.
Smooth too, like just roll off the tongue, no problem. Didn't even.
Dude, I can't do that. It's the X space. Yeah, I can't do that.
It's like Twitter. Yeah.
To finalize the story here and the kind of final weigh in on this, Arctic Alpha gave us a good summary because Charles did do a space after this with a bunch of the community member. Arctic Alpha said, listen to this Charles space. The space was scheduled with our top NFT project, aka Age Society Levvy Finance, was canceled due to the news of a second token. Charles was notified by members of his team regarding the confusion surrounding the announcement, and he decided to step back due to the risk of perceived endorsement. Charles cited the marked drop in the token as a possible lack of transparency communication from the team. He expressed that he wished the team had alerted him of a change in tokenomics prior to the space. He said he felt used and didn't want his presence on the space to influence the market movement of resolution of development. Charles volunteered that he still has an ape in his wallet and that his lines of communication remain open. And then he went on to say his thoughts of like, hey, Charles agreed that Charles said something that I agree with, and that's that founders' number one job is to enrich shareholders. That's why most invest in tokens and NFTs to support founders that will in turn bring them value. I hope that this pivot will continue to enrich the loyal ape holders of the tasks and that Ace Force One is spent building. This also serves as a great reminder to founders that it's not only important about what you do, but how you do it and communicate it. PR is really important.
Absolutely, 100%. They said that very well, I think.
Yeah,
and it's got to be tough. It's something we're obviously not the size of Charles Hoskinson, our show here, but it's even something we consider sometimes. It's like, hey, this is something that happened, but do we want to talk about it? And like, I don't know. I don't want to be seen supporting them, even if it's not our direct support. Just kind of having them on the show, as far as like getting their name out there. When we just think it may not be the best decision for our space. And normally when it comes, that's where people will say like, oh, decentralization, like, well, we obviously don't control who comes into Cardano. It's just on F-35 show. But yeah, it's definitely something we've even considered, is kind of like, hey, you know, we're interested in this, or at least want to take a look at it, even on the live stream. Like, let's just take a peek. Maybe it's the first time looking at it, but keep your pants on. This isn't an endorsement or anything. We're just looking at it, guys.
Yeah, it's gotta be hard to like get into that space of like,
at that level, like.
Well, especially him, it's Charles and on Cardano. So he has to do his due diligence to the max, more than we have to, just to make sure he's not endorsing it in any way possible. Just so he has to go in there and know exactly what he's talking about with that.
He could rug everybody, right? Like,
absolutely, he could rug or promote anybody with it,
or screw himself. Yeah,
you know,
he's got a nice fancy ranch, dude. He's not trying to put that up for grabs right now. You know,
well, it's got to be one of those things that even if you do, like, he wants to support his blockchain or whatever, it's not his, but it, you know, his creation. So even if he's like something like the old money bills, where he's like, I really like these, they're on my, you know, they're on Cardano, I love Cardano, that's my heart and soul, and these look cool, they would look cool on my wall. Like, that's as far as his interest goes. Just like, this is on Cardano, so of course I'm into it, and they look good, I would like one on my wall, and they've been around for 3 years, and he buys one, and everyone's like, oh, Charles Hoskinson's endorsing or advertising for old money. It's like, no, he literally hung a picture on his wall. That's it. That was all it was. He just liked how it looked and he put it up on the wall.
Well, just with a copy and paste photo of Jarhead.
It's printed out, like a whole bunch of them glued together.
Yep.
Dude, I remember when that was the whole thing. Remember? Yeah. Hey,
that's exactly what I was thinking. It was that same kind of thing where like people were like, that was the kind of tough part where he's like, I don't want to get involved in endorsing these.
Yeah, it's weird, man. It's definitely got to be hard to deal with that, but hey, no worries. Dude, that was a story. The drama over in Cardano. Although I think, you know, it's good to see that interaction between the founding, you know, the founder of Cardano, and even interacting with the top project, if you quote unquote top project, NFT project, and one of the top lending protocols on the chain. Kind of just, we're still.
I'm sure we'll have a conversation later on. Obviously, I think just today he wants to do a little more research with what's going on and what they just dropped recently as far as news wise. Absolutely, he had to do that. Take a step back. So, like he said, lines of communication are definitely still open. He just wants to kind of let this simmer out a little bit and do a little more research on what's going on with all projects that want to talk to him.
Agreed. I think it's a smart move, but yeah, dude, it's good. Hopefully, if anything, it's going to push us to continue to keep growing. But I just thought like that what stemmed from there is just crazy, kind of just seeing how it kind of evolved. So big shout out though to both you know, Charles and the Ape Society in general for building something that's got people talking enough to be this, like, you know, this interested and concerned about, you know.
Absolutely.
Speaking about, dude, we can't get away from gangs at all over on the show.
Their new news is exciting.
I love Derps because they're just so in their own lane, man. They've always been in their own lane. They've always done their own thing, and they've always had fun with what they do. And here we are again, chatting about them. And Dave, I love the energy, man. If you ever have read a Dave post over on Twitter, dude, get ready for an essay, because my man likes to type over there.
Wow. I like that his messages come across like he talks too. It's very much the same way that he himself talks, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Dude, it doesn't feel fake or PR or disconnected. Like, it's, you know, it's professional, but it's like how he talks.
Yeah. Well, the different posts that kind of came out about this, and then I know we were talking kind of just to piggyback off the Ape Society about the customization of traits. I know Mutant's platform and a lot of different people are going. It's kind of the route, I guess, with it, Web3. You know, it was great that we all minted our NFTs, but a lot of people are probably like, man, I really wish I would have got this trait, or I just couldn't afford to get this trait. It didn't happen for me, and I'm kind of stuck. Well, now we're evolving past the point of like, I don't want to sell my NFT. I want to hold on to it, but I want to kind of customize it a little bit. How can I do that? Maybe make it more valuable, whatever it is, right? Build a brand around it. So we've seen a lot of this customization start to become a thing here and talks of it. And here we are with Derpers, and this has been a plan of theirs for a while as well. This isn't anything new, but they're starting to get more of a visual on it now. And he said they're doing it in their own way over here. And through this adventures, which we had talked about, I think when we talked to Dave even last year about it, he mentioned of like, you know, the big thing was Outposts at that time, but beyond that was the adventures in Derpetonia, kind of their little game. And we didn't get much more than that other than like, hey, look, you guys are going to want to know about this. So they're talking about customization through adventures in Derpetonia. They would think, how can they make it more fun and multi-dimensional? And so they said that they have, and both the gold, I don't know if you remember the Handies NFTs, Golden Hand. You got the Handies NFT team and Bayuski or Bajewski over here.
But someone did say it was what, Bayuski or chat.
I don't know if I believe him. I don't believe him. I still think it's Bajewski.
We're just trying to make us look stupid, so we're gonna keep saying it wrong for the next year.
It's Bajewski, dude. It's always gonna be Bajewski. And somebody come prove me wrong over there. I want to say it was Drew Derp over there. Drew, I appreciate the effort, but I just don't think it. But they said he said we're taking customization further than where we're at. It's going to increase your power score. It's going to have all, you know, make your guy more rare. It's going to get you more staking in regard to the derp rewards you own. The more power score you have, the more derp you own every epic. In turn, the more, you know, that derp you can go ahead and claim for your, and if you want to sell it, you can sell it. But the interesting part beyond this is the fact that they're going that kind of same route where Ape Society, like if you held like certain gear, right, like certain rarities of things, not everybody can get the most badass looking thing just by paying like, hey, I bought a shitload of derp and now I can get this cool trait that everybody can get. Now everybody's just going to get the most badass traits because that's the one everybody that looks good.
It doesn't change like the metadata or in JPG store wise, right? It's just changing.
Oh no, it'll change.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah. So they're going to start off with base traits. Base traits are ones that derps and preds have today. They cannot be removed or crafted. So there's certain traits that you'll never be able to get rid of. And in this sense, you can kind of see like the Dave is an example here of his Dave, the eyes right here, the Dave eyes and the ear. You'll never be able to change that for that NFT. That's your base trait.
Yeah.
So that's not going anywhere. But gear slots are going to be the next part of that. So you have the base trait, the gear, and the cosmetics, and the gear slots are going to be crafted traits where you'll get to add gear to certain attributes. And that'll add a multiplier. You'll get more derp, or essentially increase your power score. The rare traits are still highly desired. And essentially, the way I'm looking at this is like, remember, like, hey, like even Ape Society does this, where you got like the halo, right? Like the halo is a rare trait. Well, you can get the flame halo now, but not everybody can get the flame halo unless you have the base trait of that. So you can upgrade your traits from there, like it'll unlock certain ones. So it still gives an incentive to go ahead and collect those original rare traits without diminishing them, which makes sense, right? So if you get like
use other like traits or slots for, let's say you own the flame trait on one NFT, but in your wallet you want to put it on another one that you have in your wallet, but you can't do that. It has to be the one specifically for the NFT.
You mean like if I had a flame
like
halo?
Yeah, if you had a flame halo like within your wallet, does it go based off your wallet, like as far as the gear you have, or does it go based on the individual NFT itself?
I don't know if it would automatically mint it. Like you could switch back and forth between the two.
Yeah, like you would cycle through your collection of that you have of derps.
So here's the third slot that they're talking about, cosmetics. And they say cosmetic slots are visual only. So I'm assuming that your gear slots are going to be new crafted traits. So this will get added on. So I'm assuming this will mint and add on to your NFT's metadata. The gear slots.
So you
the cosmetics, but the cosmetics though, you can swap. If they want to throw a crafted trait into a cosmetic slot, the visuals for that trait is used. The character gets no power score benefit from this trait. By default, a trait in this gear slot would be used for the visual, but cosmetic will override that. Users may also choose to use a base trait for the visual if they don't like the visual of that gear they have equipped.
Shit and conditions.
Dude. So they're pure specimens, pure preds. They can have gear equipped, but they're never going to be unchanged because that's the way they wanted them to look. So you can't, even if you have a pure one, you can't change the visual on it. But you can have gear equipped to it to increase the power scores on them. And your little preds, if you have the little like different facial expressions, you're gonna get some new face traits for those. Looks like by default, no crafting required. And it's gonna be interesting because they're making it fun in their own way over here. And you'll be able to change it. It'll be able to upgrade your stuff. And it's just done in a derp way. But it says, as most already know, new traits are crafted by players who unlock the blueprints and adventures in Derpetonia.
Ooh, that's cool.
And who have crafting and materials needed. Each trait can only be crafted a set number of times, with legendary traits being extremely rare, most likely having crafted limits as low as 5. Crafted traits are NFTs that can be sold, bought, and traded, etc.
That's fun. I like that.
So if you're a rare motherfucker and you're like, yo, I can craft this thing 5 times, I'm gonna sell off to there's gonna be 5 extra people that got this dope ass trait, but I'm gonna make some money off it.
I just like how they make you earn it. They make you be around. They really reward people that are interacting and members of the community that are more active, as opposed to, like you said, Tommy, just making it kind of pay to win, where you can just go and buy the best ones you want. I guess you kind of can still, in a way, if you want to, rebuy the derps themselves, but people can also customize or mix and match them. I really like how you have the opportunity to really flex the different things or accomplishments or missions that you've completed to show, damn, you got that armband and you got that, those shoes. Like, that's pretty cool. I really like that.
Right? You think about it in the sense of like a Counter-Strike where you have that rarest gun skin, where like, dude, this guy's been through the shit. He did everything. There's nobody else that's got this except this guy. But this guy may have a price, or he wants to hang up his boots and he wants to retire. I'm that new motherfucker on the block, or I just want to flex it. I'm gonna pay a premium for that, but I can do it and I can sell it off decentralized, and that's the kind of the power of the gaming and NFTs. The interesting part too that they mention here, because we didn't think about this, but there's a lot more, such as new traits that tie into the marketplace and the synergy between outposts and crafting and new traits. I could see a world where they have the different outposts that obviously have different lands that give you different materials that you'll need for different traits. And different blueprints, so they can tie the outposts into that too, not only just by, hey, I got a derp and I can stake it and I can get certain blueprints. Like, they're gonna make you either need to know somebody, or you're gonna need to have certain things to do this.
Well, it forces probably everyone to work together to kind of get different blueprints.
That's true too.
Yeah. And then and he said that the whole thing's being built in the technical sense, can be repurposed and utilized for many different use cases. Everything has to be part of a larger platform, and everything has to scale to be multi-purpose, and everything has to be something that if we can open up for other projects and collections. Lots to take in there, and that was a big breakdown for what they've got going on. But an in-depth stuff of what Derp's working on.
I just really love how he brought it up in the beginning too, where this isn't something new. It's something we get a little excited about. I always really like personalization, but so far there's not been a lot of projects that have done it that we are like a bigger part in. The projects that have kind of offered that have not been something I hold or am interested in kind of converting yet. So he even said, he's like, hey man, this isn't like super exciting. It's a new hat, it's new accessories. So we are doing it in a way to make people that want it actually excited, where you have to interact with it, because otherwise just no one uses it. Everyone is just kind of like, oh, whatever, I'm not paying any more either for that. But in this way, it's for those community members that are there all the time, that have multiple outposts or one outpost fully upgraded, or are allocating their different derps or preds to the outposts themselves. They didn't get one. For people that are really into the project and have kind of reached those max levels without waiting for that next thing. This isn't just them letting them, hey, you can change your pants now. They get to do a whole lot of interacting and new things now to kind of unlock and be rewarded. And you get that sense of, even though it's not necessarily, immediate financial return, it's that sense of accomplishment for something when you're into it and enjoying it. It is extremely rewarding.
100%.
Change your pants.
Change your pants, dude.
I don't know, that made me laugh.
And then they just gave you a quick little preview too here of the Adventures app. Is so much fun, bigger than we originally planned, and think it's going to be bigger than anyone is expecting. Can't wait to launch this third major piece of the ecosystem. And they gave you a little preview of the kind of the pred base, just a little interactability between stuff, a little ticker up there about things going on, and I'm excited to see this. Yeah,
the Blix Geek Derp. Oh, dope.
I'm excited to see it's another one. They push it like to another level.
Yeah, 100%. They have fun with it, right? Yeah. Speaking of a little bit of stuff that people are having fun with, and also a little mysterious, this kind of reminds me of the Mallard in a sense. Have you guys been seeing these over on your timeline about some amulets lately?
I did.
From Squashua?
From you.
You saying amulets or ambulance?
Yo, onions.
There's a new password now, though.
He did, but there's a new one over there. he dropped this little tweet earlier. Actually, he's retweeting everybody's stuff. I was trying to find the amulet tweet. He said, how big is this cult? Let's see how deep the rabbit hole goes with an amulet train. Hit those quote retweets. So we put this over on a thumbnail. Didn't get a chance to talk about it on Monday, but shout out to people in the community. Someone kind of tipped us off, said, hey, you need to DM Squashua the key phrase password, and you'll get started on your journey. And this journey started with this amulet. You DM'd him, he sent you the amulet.
I told you, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, totally did. TJ, I know TJ did.
I did.
And then from there, it's just like a game of telephone, right? Like, hey, tell 3 people. Okay, I'm gonna tell 3 people. Well, if those 3 people keep telling and spreading and spreading and spreading, there wasn't just an amulet you got. There was the net. Like after those 3 people got their stuff, and you got more stuff. You get a goblet. You'd get it just layered up. And I don't know how far this goes. Hey, you get the goblet, an infinite goblet of eternal ape. Cool. I don't know. It just showed up in my wallet. Must mean I'm doing something right. Cool. All right. Oh, I got a ring now. This was me the other day. Like, okay, what's that mean? No, there's only 33 of these things. It just says Squashua list. Like as
only 33 of them.
Then today happens. Right before this thing, and the Vorpal Sword of the Eternal Ape showed up in my wallet. So this is basically meant like my chain reaction of the initial 3 that has gone on to get their own stuff and recruit more and more people. And the only reason I'm mentioning this over there is because I just love the like it's game of like telephone, but I love that there's like artwork tied with it, and he's like, you're just getting new and new stuff, and nobody knows what it's for yet.
Well, clearly Shiny Ones and Rez did not say my name. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yo, hey, appreciate it, guys. Hey, to be fair, if I didn't tell you about it, you wouldn't have known about it.
Yeah, I did. I said your name though.
Yeah, so you need to start telling others besides those 2.
Do we
know those 2? You used our Discord, cheater.
I
Can you tag us on Twitter too, Tommy?
I did tell you. That was on a different thing, but yes, I did tell you guys on something else. That was on an Ordinals post, but yes, I did.
We don't know what the Eternal Ape is yet, right?
We don't know what's going on with this yet.
Well, the Vorpal Sword is, I think.
I don't know what that's from.
I think this is all D&D stuff.
Is it?
Or just fantasy in general, but I think that'd be the more common, popular one.
There's a level beyond the sword.
Magic the Gathering, Vorpal Sword.
Oh, okay.
That's there you go. Just
D&D, yeah, you're right. D&D
Dragons. D&D came out a little bit before Magic.
He said there's a level beyond there. There's only 11 of these orbs. I don't know how you get the orbs from here. But he said, P.S. the password has changed again.
Squashua. Just saying.
Cult. It just keeps hashtagging Cult of the Eternal Ape. So who knows where this is going to go?
Eternal Ape, okay.
He minted out the Wavy Ape Empire. If you guys aren't familiar with that, his collection. Yeah, they actually look pretty cool. I'm a big fan of it. He did one for L over there, but you guys have probably seen these over on the timeline. But yeah, dude, I just wanted to mention that because I like a little bit of mystery, and I like seeing a bunch of people in the community kind of just jumping on a train where this guy's put up his own artwork. He's sending you stuff for free. You're not like paying Ada to get this stuff. He did that really cool video. I think we talked about it with I think it was Lou and them when they had him on for the Ikigai, where we talked about them walking.
Yes.
Like, oh, really?
Yeah, I remember when they were walking through like the city of the ape, and it was all the names on the buildings. Squash was the artist of that. He was at NFT LV this year doing sketches, what do you call it? The caricatures, whatever they are.
Yep. Yeah, that was him doing that though. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah, that's him right here. He's just doing those live. He's got a really cool art style. I know O-Side is very big into Squashua, and if you're in the Discord for them, I think O-Side might even be a mod over there. I gotta go look. Yeah, man, it's something different. I don't know where this is going. People are having fun with it. I'm not sitting over here saying like this is a project you need to go buy.
Light and fun right now, which is good.
Maybe it turns into something.
He's having fun with it. He's engaging the community in a way that's fun, getting their interest, but it's not also like, give me money, please, money right now, money, give me money. It's in a fun way. It's in a way that shows that he's been a member of the community too, and he's just enjoying sharing his side of it now, and kind of also probably just teasing us a little bit. I'm sure that's fun. I'm sure it's fun to see people get excited and interested in your art in a new way.
100%. I'm a big fan of what he's been doing lately, and it's just like you said, you're having fun with it. So we'll see what these orbs do and see what all this stuff is. I don't know if there'll be benefits to holding all these different things. If there's a upcoming sale, I don't know. We'll see. But big shout out to the mystery. I like keeping it fun. That's what got us initially interested over in Mallet Order, was that mystery, that kind of game, kind of figuring out where it would go from there. So
Yep.
always good time, man. Boys, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up on the back end.
Wrap it up on the back end.
Wait, dude,
Here we
90
are.
minutes tonight? Was it 2 hours?
Dude, Tom, I told you again. We were like, hey, it's gonna be a 15 minutes. All right, at least 45. You know, it's just
45, 50 here.
hey, no, we did a nice solid like hour 5, something like that.
Last week we did an hour and 15.
I was gonna say.
It's
Yeah,
something like
a
I
long
see.
one.
The recording's telling me about an hour 12 up here. And I'm
Well,
looking.
no, I'm saying last week. You and Tom.
Oh,
did
yeah,
an hour
yeah.
15 one, yeah.
We just
We were
kept
just-
flowing. I don't know what happened.
We
there.
got in the groove, dude. The Toms are in the groove. I don't know what it was, man, but even tonight we're in the groove. A lot of info, a lot of stories, a lot of stuff going on inside the space. And like I said, there's a lot of toxicity that happens over on the timeline, but sometimes you just gotta take a little step back. But we'll fill you in, baby birds. Don't you worry. Keep eating.